The summit is all-encompassing. Unlike a number of conferences I go to, this is a summit that touches on every aspect of the kind of hate that we're suffering from and the issues surrounding it, from civil litigation to survivors of hate crimes, to the tech element, to where it is around the world, where it is in the United States. We're touching on really a very broad range of issues, and I think that's extremely helpful.
All of our expectations have been wildly exceeded. Laura Ellsworth, who is the prime force for how this actually got off the ground and is taking place, conceived of this several years ago, and there have been many people working behind the scenes to make it happen.
Unfortunately, we have so many cities that we now think of in terms of what tragedy occurred, and Laura, along with many others, had this vision that Pittsburgh will be the site where we plant our flag and we say we're going to do something about the root causes of this, as opposed to being defined by the incident.
I had seen the agenda ahead of time, but I just couldn't really understand how jam-packed it was with experts from all over the globe that are really committed to this issue. Even just my ride from the airport, it was just an amazing jam-packed group of people that are really committed to this area.
So everything from practitioners, people that have been in the trenches in some of these cases on both the defense and the prosecution side. You've got victims, obviously, telling some very moving stories about what they've experienced and how they've dealt with what happened to them. Obviously, law enforcement professionals who are involved in trying to prevent acts of terrorism. The academic perspective, I've been very impressed with the amount of work that has gone into determining what's working well in our current system here in the U.S. with respect to combating domestic terrorism, what we need to do better, and what are really no-go zones in terms of what are good tools that we should be considering. One of the things that's different about this conference is the working group construct and the idea that there's going to be a follow-on to this particular conference. In the interim, you're going to have people who are devoted to working through some of the issues that are identified here in these 3 days and trying to come back in a year and trying to provide for the group some ways forward and some proposals.
I was honored to be even part of this speaker program. I feel like everyone's far more distinguished than me. And the other thing I'd say is it's really solutions oriented. So the challenge that we've all set for ourselves is at the end of every panel, come up with a concrete recommendation about how we're going to do something. We're not here to simply reaffirm a message, although that's important. We're here to make sure that next year and all the other summits, we can have measurable progress to hopefully prevent some of these future atrocities.
I think that we will be able to look back at this conference and point to precise programming and collaborations that started here and that produced really measurable impact in communities in the future.
These types of things can spark action to you in a positive way, and I think that's the entire concept of this summit too. One of the quotes that was said early on in the conference is, "Out of darkness comes light," and that's the purpose of why we're having the summit here in Pittsburgh, and help others that are feeling like they don't have a voice.